Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and as you can see, I am inside a Shelby GT350, and I am in total disbelief that I finally get to drive this car. I've sat in them at Walker Ford to do reviews. I've done quickie reviews at DuPont Cars and Coffee and Reeves Motorsports Gathering. I've seen them in parking lots. I've seen them on the internet. I am behind the wheel of a running Shelby GT350, and I have, believe it or not, a subscriber to thank for this awesome opportunity. So, you know, I started the channel back in October of 2017. Didn't really know what was gonna come of it, to be honest with you. Didn't know how people were gonna take it, if people were gonna watch anything. Thankfully, many people feel that I have a way of talking about cars, sharing my passion, my love for cars, and they like tuning in and watching my reviews and videos and everything else. Well, I was lucky enough to meet a subscriber at Cars and Coffee at DuPont a few months ago. I actually did a quickie review, quickie / in-depth review of this car at the event with a startup. We looked at the engine, that amazing 5.2 liter Voodoo engine. Couple weeks go by, couple more weeks go by. I became friends with the owner of this Shelby GT350, a person that I met as a subscriber. I did not know him before this whole YouTube thing. I became friends with him, and believe it or not, he actually gave me this dream of a lifetime. I have dreamed of getting behind the wheel of this car. He and his buddy have gone on the 2018 Forza Rally. They left Tampa. They're going down to the Florida Keys. He's gonna be gone for 4 days. Believe it or not, he contacted me one day and said, "Hey Joe, do you want to borrow my Shelby GT350 for a few days while I'm out of town?" I was in total disbelief. My jaw hit the floor. I never thought in a million years somebody would be willing to do something like this for me, to be able to share this car with all of you guys. It is such a great opportunity. I am so grateful. Andrew, I know you're watching this. Thank you, buddy. You really made one of my dreams come true, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with some other people that are close to me, especially my father. My father used to own a 1969 Shelby GT350. He bought the car back in 1969. It was only 6 months old from the original owner, and had that car for a very long time. And that's really, as a child, I remember going for rides in my dad's Shelby GT350, and that's why this car is so important to me. You know, I really have not had the means to get one for my own self. I'm hoping very shortly that I will be doing that. I would like to buy a brand new one just for me, so we'll see how that goes. But I am just so grateful for Andrew trusting me and allowing me to drive his baby, and it's exactly the way I would get it, white with the blue racing stripes. The only difference is I probably would have liked the Recaros in here, but you know what? I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth, and it is just a wonderful experience. I mean, these seats, they're leather, Alcantara, they're air conditioned and heated, and it's just, this car is amazing. It's amazing. The clutch is so light. If you have driven a 2015 to 2017 Mustang GT, the clutch on this GT350 is feather light. It's like my Ford Focus RS. Now, if you buy a new Mustang GT 2018, they did change that. They did lighten up the clutch, but this car being a 2016, they lightened up the clutch, and it feels amazing. Very docile driving down the road, but when you want to open her up, she really goes. And I love this transmission. This gearbox is just a dream to shift through, and the sound of that Voodoo engine, that 5.2 liter flat plane crankshaft, redline 8,250 RPM. If you're ready, I'm ready to take you for my first little spin back to my house, because I got a few things I need to do, I met up with Andrew at the Forza Rally meetup place. They drove off, and I'm left with this amazing, amazing car, a Shelby GT350, and I get to drive it. So here we go. You could easily hear I have it in sport. The exhausts are open. Sounds wonderful. Just rolling out, very, very simple to operate. Just, my God, the sound of that engine. Andrew, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's not a million ways I could say thank you. There just are not enough words in the English language to thank you for this opportunity. Such a special feeling. Such a special feeling. Very, very easy to drive. The visibility, I really like it inside this Mustang, especially it being a Shelby. But this gearbox, remember, the gearbox in the Shelby GT350 is different than the Mustang GT. This one, the action is much shorter throws, much more precise. I love the steering wheel with the Alcantara. Steering wheel could be a little bit smaller. I see what you're saying, Andrew. Steering wheel could be a little bit smaller, but I love the gauges. I'm comfortable as could be. 6 feet, 200 pounds. This is a great place to be. Very, very nicely done. I'm just in awe. I really am. Just cruising. I'm right now just doing 45 miles an hour, just cruising in this car, looking out over the hood, seeing those racing stripes. Remember, back decades ago, white with blue racing stripes was the color, the racing color for the United States. You had British racing green, so all the cars from England were that green color, the Jags, the Aston Martins. You obviously have red for Italy with Ferrari and whatnot. For the good old US of A, white with blue racing stripes. And remember, it was Carroll Shelby that took that Mustang, 1965 Mustang, and made it into a GT350. Throttle response is great. I mean, you're able to blip the throttle very easily. I love the sound. The sound is amazing. Very, very nicely done. The Ford engineers, this engine, I'm telling you, it was a game changer, because you know, Mustangs before and Mustangs now, they all have that Coyote engine, that traditional overhead cam V8. Still a great engine, but this one is just, I mean, you hear the difference. You feel the difference. It's wonderful. So just cruising around, it's just great. People look at this car and it really takes me back to being a kid. Riding my dad's Shelby GT350. I mean, even over the bumps, suspension travels great. You know, I think probably the biggest complaint for some people is there's a little too much black, but guess what? Ford did that on purpose. They knew that people were going to track these cars, take them to autocross events, and they didn't want you to get a ton of glare from shiny bits all over the place. But you know, I wouldn't have thought these seats would be as comfortable as they are. They're very comfortable, but they do have some nice support here on the side with the bolstering. Engages into first gear very nicely. I'm telling you, the clutch, your grandmother could operate this clutch pedal. That's how easy it is. God, the sound. Unreal. This car is from another freaking planet. A V8 and a Mustang is not supposed to sound like that. That's what makes this car a Shelby. And yeah, there may be faster cars in a drag strip, faster cars around a racetrack, faster cars as you're racing street light to street light, but there's just something that has to be said for personality and for the experience of what it makes you feel to drive this car. I love just staring at the Cobra. I remember being as a kid, sitting in the passenger seat, looking at the Cobra on the dash, and thought it was just the coolest thing. And I still do, at 42. I really, really like when you get into the upper RPM range, it does have a heads-up display where it does show the lights up on the windshield. Very, very nicely done. It's not too obtrusive, and it's just at a perfect eye level for somebody like myself at 6 feet tall. brakes are very responsive, not grabby whatsoever. Steering is very quick. You know, I've always thought, and I know a lot of people, when you get into a Mustang or into a Shelby, they're a bigger car, they're not going to handle as great. You know what, this thing, they've done the homework with the suspension. I know this doesn't have the carbon fiber wheels like they are, but to be honest with you, the GT350R, sure, I wouldn't mind one of those either, but for an everyday driver, this is definitely the way to go. Freaking exhaust. Unbelievable. Oh my God, the sound of this thing, just the way it drives, this shifter, I love it. I love this freaking shifter. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. There's not enough I can say to this guy. I really, really appreciate this. So this is going to be the first of a few vlogs that I'm going to be doing in the Shelby GT350. I got some very good stuff. I'm going to go surprise my dad and pick up my dad and take him for a ride. He hasn't been in a Shelby GT350 since he sold his. So, you know, that's going to be something very personal to me. I've been wanting to give my dad that experience for so long, and I'm just really looking forward to that. I have some other people I'm going to be giving some rides to. I got my nephew, who's only 7 years old, and I'm going to be able to surprise him with a ride in the GT350. Share that love of cars, keep it going. You know, that's what it's all about. But if these are the things you like to see on Raiti's Rides, put a comment in that comment section. If you have not hit subscribe yet, what are you waiting for? Please hit that subscribe button. If you have been on this journey with me since the beginning, thank you. These are the things that happen because of this channel. I get to have these experiences that I just never thought would be possible. That somebody would let me borrow a GT350 for 4 days. I'm just grateful, guys. I'm just grateful. That's all I can say. But you know, check out my Facebook, my Instagram, and Twitter. All original Raiti's Rides all the time. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.